Hello, I'm Lara Kılıçarslan, and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. After more than a year of sustained attacks, a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah is now in place. The 60-day truce marks a significant step following months of diplomatic efforts to bring peace to the region. The deal, brokered by the United States and France, was announced by President Joe Biden, who referred to it as a permanent cessation of hostilities. Under the terms, Israel will gradually withdraw from southern Lebanon, while Hezbollah will retreat to north of the Litani River, around 30 kilometers north of the Israeli border. In the hours leading up to the announcement, Israel issued fresh evacuation orders and continued to bombard Beirut with air strikes. The conflict between Hezbollah and Israel escalated sharply in September. So far, more than 3,700 Lebanese have been killed and at least 13,000 others injured.
Alan Pincus, a former ambassador and consul general to Israel, said the ceasefire announcement by Netanyahu seems very fragile because it looks very difficult to maintain and sustain in the long run, adding that it assumes the Lebanese army will supervise the manufacturing and the sales and transfers of weapons in Lebanon, and that's an impossibility. We all know the Lebanese army has always shunned any kind of confrontation with Hezbollah. Now, in addition to the fragility of this agreement, Israeli politicians, including Netanyahu, have said in the past, whether or not this deal moves forward, they will continue to strike Lebanon. And we've seen this aggression already. The Zionist entity actually plans to continue these strikes for at least another day before adhering to ceasefire guidelines.
Both sides have agreed to stop fighting, but for very different reasons. And this is a little breakdown of what led to this decision. So why did Israel agree for the ceasefire? Israel's military campaign in Lebanon didn't achieve its goals. So number one is failure to advance. Israel aimed to push Hezbollah forces out of southern Lebanon, particularly beyond the Litani River. However, they couldn't achieve this objective. Number two is they haven't achieved any major win. The Israeli forces failed to capture any significant towns or settlements in southern Lebanon. And number three is their heavy losses. Israel lost over 60 Merkava tanks and suffered a significant number of casualties among its military personnel. Number four is the displaced civilians. Many Israelis, I wouldn't call them civilians, settlers, thieves in the north of Israel had to evacuate due to Hezbollah's attacks, and Israel couldn't ensure their safe return during the conflict.
There are a series of phase actions crucial to the implementation of this truce. The Lebanese army will be deployed in southern parts of the country. Peacekeepers, led by the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, who will be deployed in key areas to monitor compliance, is another factor. They will be tasked with ensuring that neither side violates the agreement, preventing any sudden flare-ups that could jeopardize the peace. Biden says Washington will now work towards the ceasefire in Gaza. He also urged Hamas to release the hostages. But as the US president spoke of guns falling silent, Israel continued to step up its attack on Gaza, targeting a school where displaced Palestinians were seeking shelter. Heavy rain and biting winter winds have made life in Gaza even more miserable. Tents are being blown away and meager possessions lost as floods rip through camps in parts of Gaza. Aid agencies are warning of massive shortages of food and supplies. They also fear the wet weather could increase the spread of disease. In Romania, the power of social media has propelled a candidate with no political party to lead the first round of elections held on Sunday. Independent Calin Georgescu, a pro-Russian supporter and NATO critic, took 23% of the first round of voting. Initial polls had predicted that he would win around 5% of the vote. But days before the election, videos like these of Georgescu riding horses and judo fighting went viral in Romania. And many are now suggesting that tapping into TikTok gave him the advantage.
Russian candidate just won the first tour of presidential elections in Romania. Calin Georgescu, with his campaign being primarily done on TikTok, has forever changed the way Romanian people look at social media when it comes to elections. He will be running against Elena Lesconi in the second tour, a pro-European candidate.
Unlike his rivals, Georgescu's campaign focused on the rising cost of living in Romania. While he used TikTok, his rivals opted to use mainstream media and embark on costly advertising campaigns. Looking back, analysts say taking the conventional route could have cost them financially and politically.
It's a reality that our mainstream party seem to have forgotten about TikTok and seem to have ignored the fact that online platforms can be such a powerful tools. Most of the campaigning financing splash went into the mainstream media and perhaps online ads and ignored the actual vivacity and possible engagement of online videos.
The beef between Drake and Lamar is rearing its ugly head again. A day after legal threats against his label, Universal Music Group, Drake is now alleging in a second court filing the label paid a radio station to boost airplay of Lamar's notorious diss track, Not Like Us. On Tuesday, Drake had claimed UMG and Spotify artificially inflated the song's streams.
Here are the 4 allegations. 1, Drake says that UMG did a deal with Spotify where basically UMG would accept 30% less in royalty payments in exchange for getting the song boosted on their algorithm. 2, an anonymous source said that he had been paid by UMG to stream the song using bots, aka like artificial streaming, streaming fraud, those kind of things. 3, that there had been a pay-to-play deal with radio stations where basically they would pay an independent music promoter who would then pay off the DJs. And 4, paying influencers to promote and endorse the song in the video without disclosing that it's a paid advertisement.
To give y'all some context, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us has held the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot Rap Songs chart for 21 consecutive weeks, which set a record for the longest running #1 rap song. According to court documents, Drake tried to talk to Universal Music, quote, to resolve the ongoing harm that he has suffered, but they wouldn't engage in negotiation.
UMG is refusing to engage with Drake over this issue. They are pointing the finger at Kendrick Lamar and telling Drake to sue him, not UMG. And a source from Drake's camp says that Drake is upset with UMG's allegedly shady business practices, not Kendrick or his lyrics.
These days, you can't step outside or scroll through social media without running into something wicked. Universal Pictures has gone all in on the 2-part adaptation of the iconic Broadway musical, reportedly spending over $320 million. And how much went towards marketing is unclear, but based on the branding overload, it has to be a lot.
First up, we have this collaboration with Bay's Luggage, where you can literally get Glinda and Elphaba-inspired luggage. Wicked also partnered with Lego to do Glinda, Elphaba, and Oz-style Lego pieces. What better collaboration for Wicked than to do Glinda and Elphaba-inspired Stanley Cups, Glinda and Elphaba-inspired Funko Pops, Wicked collaborations with H&M and Aerie, and also these jerseys from Forever 21. But apparently Starbucks and Wicked partnered together to make Wicked-inspired drinks at Starbucks. We also got a Wicked and Rice Krispies treat collaboration. We got some of the most beautiful Wicked-inspired runway fashion from Naeem Khan. Mattel even came out with their own Glinda, which was like very Barbie inspired. You can also play Wicked Monopoly. If you want it to smell like Oz or like Glinda and Elphaba, you can get candles from Voluspa. Swarovski Crystals got in on the action where they Wickedified this store, where everything was pink and green.
It's the kind of marketing blitz you would expect for a film tied to Broadway's second highest grossing show ever. Die-hard fans of Wicked are eating it up, but not everyone appreciated the marketing overdrive.
On X, journalist Sophie Vershbau shared her frustration, posting a meme aimed at the marketing team with a simple message, enough. A Blue Sky user chimed in sarcastically, suggesting it might only take a dozen more exposures to fully understand Wicked's marketing message. Even die-hard fans of the musical and Ariana Grande are feeling overwhelmed, with some admitting the relentless campaigns have made them less excited about the film. Over on Threads, one user said they can't wait for the day when they're no longer bombarded by Wicked ads everywhere, calling the constant exposure too much.
But here's the kicker. As annoying as it may be for some, this marketing blitz works. Wicked soared at the box office, raking in $164 million globally in its debut weekend, breaking records for Broadway adaptations. Directed by John M. Chu, the film tells the backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West, with a star-studded cast that includes Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, and Jonathan Bailey. Adapted from the Broadway musical and Gregory Maguire's 1995 novel, the first film covers only part of the story. The second, it's already set to hit theaters in November 2025. Here's the million-dollar question. Did it manage to cast a spell on audiences? Let's turn to the real critics, social media. And don't worry, no spoilers here.
2 hours 40 minutes for the first half of musical, and the trailer looked so I'm like, oh, 2 hours 40 minutes of that. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to win Best Picture. I'm like, can we all just calm down, please? It can't be that good. It was okay. Wow. It's good.
Disaster for watching Wicked! How you doing? I'm fine. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Social media has been filled with videos tagged with women in male fields. The trend has women flipping the narrative on relationship double standards and highlights the realities of modern male-female interactions from the workplace to dating, all with a humorous tone.
This women in male-dominated fields trend, the best part of it is women realizing, oh, I thought it was my fault he said that to me. What do you mean they're saying this to everybody? TikTok has made a huge impact on feminism in the last 5 years. Women who've been told their whole life, you're too much, and you think that, oh, I just have unrealistic expectations for a relationship. I was raised on fairy tales and love stories, and that's just not how relationships actually are. No, baby, you're just looking for mutual respect.
I can't lie, this women in males field has just made me realize that a lot of women have actually been studying us so much. Because every time I see a single video, I'm like, wait, I did this one before. And then I scroll again and I see one and I'm like, wait, that is so me. And then I just scroll another one and I was like, oh my days, I actually did this. And it's so crazy because I feel like a lot of you women, you have a lot of trauma to just unpack. Because clearly, you man have gone through it, like.
Well, who can get enough of holidays, right? And sometimes we make up ones just to fill the gaps between the traditional ones. While many choose to gather with their relatives on special days, this one is for those who can't or simply don't want to. It's Friendsgiving, and it's not just an American thing anymore. Around the world, people have embraced Friendsgiving as a way to come together and just to celebrate friendship.
Friendsgiving fit and food check. What'd you bring to Friendsgiving?
A little green bean casserole guy and a mashed potato guy.
What'd you bring to Friendsgiving?
Pan hecho en casa.
Literal best bread ever.
Not falling off.
What'd you bring to Friendsgiving?
Myself and the food tray.
I'm hosting Friendsgiving for 24 people. I've made everything from scratch. I've been prepping around my 9 to 5, and today is finally party day, and I could not be more excited. So the turkey was gorgeous. That's the first thing you need to know. People were coming in. We were continuing to set up. I made a salad. Look at that turkey. What a magnificent turkey there was this year. And then these were all the sides that I made. I'm not gonna...
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.